Alien shocked, "You captured human children? Are you out of your mind?" HFY Sci-Fi tale. The room fell silent as General Tavok entered, his towering figure casting a shadow over the assembled soldiers. The Kliktar warlord, known for his ruthless strategies and calculating mind, was inspecting the latest asset his underlings had brought back from their raid. "Report," he commanded in a voice that rumbled like distant thunder. A junior officer, trembling under the general's gaze, stepped forward. "General, during our raid on the Terran colony, we secured high-value prisoners." "Good," Tavok said, his mandibles clicking in approval. "What kind of prisoners?" The officer hesitated, shifting uncomfortably. Children, sir. Human children." The room, previously a cacophony of activity, grew deathly quiet. Tavok's black eyes widened, and his mandibles froze mid-click. The silence dragged on for an uncomfortably long moment before the general exploded. "You did what?" The Kliktar soldiers recoiled as Tavok slammed a clawed fist onto the steel table, denting it. "You captured human children? Are you insane? Do you have any idea what you've done?" The officer stammered, "But, General, they're small, defenseless, and valuable hostages. Surely the humans will." "Silence," Tavok roared. He paced back and forth, his claws scraping the metal floor. "Clearly, you have no concept of what you've unleashed. Humans may seem weak, but those children are not hostages, they are bait. And we have just stepped directly into the trap." One of the braver officers, a younger Kliktar named Frix, dared to ask, "General, with all respect, how much harm can a few human children do?" Tavok turned to him, his eyes filled with something rarely seen in Kliktar warriors, fear. "You misunderstand," Tavok growled. "The harm won't come from the children. It will come from the humans who raised them." Meanwhile, aboard the Terran flagship Resolve, Admiral Kiera Hayes leaned back in her chair, her sharp features illuminated by the soft blue glow of tactical displays. Her normally calm demeanor was replaced by a cold, simmering rage. "So," she said, her voice icy, "they've taken children." Her second-in-command, Commander Jax Nolan, nodded grimly. "Yes, ma'am. 12 kids from the colony on New Horizon. Ages range from 5 to 11. Kliktar raiders hit the settlement before our patrols could intercept." Hayes clenched her jaw. "Do they think we'll negotiate? Offer them something in exchange?" "That's the assumption," Nolan replied. Hayes's lips curled into a dangerous smile. "They don't understand what they've done. We're not negotiating. We're responding." Turning to her tactical officer, she barked, "Prepare the fleet. I want every Kliktar signal intercepted, every outpost mapped, and every weak point identified. If they want to play with fire, we'll show them what happens when humanity gets angry." Kliktar outpost. 2 days later. The Kliktar soldiers guarding the captured human children were growing restless. The kids, though small and seemingly harmless, had been nothing but trouble. "Stop poking me with that stick," one of the Kliktar growled, his frustration boiling over as an 8-year-old boy named Max grinned mischievously. "Make me," Max retorted, sticking his tongue out. Nearby, a girl named Lily was braiding a Kliktar soldier's antennae while he sat frozen, unsure how to respond to her peculiar human behavior. Another child, a quiet 6-year-old named Tommy, had somehow managed to disassemble part of his cage and was now explaining to the Kliktar guards how it was structurally flawed. The soldiers were on edge. They hadn't slept in days, their nerves fraying under the relentless chaos these small humans unleashed. Then, the alarms sounded. Red lights flashed throughout the outpost as the sound of explosions reverberated through the walls. The Kliktar scrambled, their weapons at the ready. "Incoming Terran ships," shouted a soldier. General Tavok stormed into the control room, his mandibles clicking furiously. "I warned you this would happen." The comms crackled to life, and Admiral Hayes's voice cut through the noise like a blade. "This is Admiral Hayes of the Terran fleet. You have 12 of our children. Surrender them immediately, or we'll dismantle your entire operation piece by piece." Tavok snarled. "You think you can threaten me, human? We hold the advantage." "Do you?" Hayes replied coolly. A holographic display lit up, showing the Kliktar fleet burning in orbit, their ships methodically disabled by precision strikes. Tavok's confidence wavered. "You wouldn't dare harm the children." "You're right," Hayes said. "We won't need to." You'll hand them over, because if you don't, we'll make sure the Kliktar name is erased from every star chart in the galaxy. Return them now. Tuvok hesitated, weighing his options. But before he could respond, chaos erupted in the holding room. The children had escaped. Kliktar holding room. Max led the charge, wielding a Kliktar stun baton he'd swiped from a distracted guard. Behind him, Lily carried a backpack full of Kliktar communication devices she'd scavenged, while Tommy explained how to short-circuit the locks on the main doors. The guards tried to regain control, but the kids' combination of cleverness, courage, and sheer unpredictability overwhelmed them. When the Terran Marines breached the facility minutes later, they found the children sitting on a pile of unconscious Kliktar guards, playing a card game they'd improvised from scraps of paper. Admiral Hayes's voice came through the Marines' comms. "Status report." A Marine laughed. "The kids handled it, Ma'am. All hostiles neutralized." Aftermath. Back aboard the Resolve, the children were reunited with their families. Admiral Hayes watched from the observation deck, a rare smile crossing her face. "Ma'am," Commander Nolan said, approaching her. "The Kliktar have issued a formal apology. General Tuvok is retiring." Hayes chuckled. "Let this be a lesson to the galaxy. Don't mess with human kids. And if you do, well, may whatever gods you believe in have." In the depths of Kliktar space, General Tuvok's disgrace was swift and absolute. His failure to anticipate the humans' ferocity, and the children's cunning, left his superiors fuming. He was summoned to the Kliktar High Council to account for his actions. The council chamber was an imposing place, lined with towering obsidian columns and illuminated by the faint green glow of Kliktar bioluminescent crystals. Seated at the center was Supreme Strategist Zarak, a figure known for his cold precision and unyielding authority. "General Tuvok," Zarak began, his voice a low rumble, "explain to this council how your incompetence has endangered the Kliktar Empire. You not only failed to secure valuable hostages but allowed children to humiliate our warriors." Tuvok's mandibles twitched. "Supreme Strategist, Silence," Zarak snapped. "The humans are unlike any species we've encountered. They do not fear us, they do not respond predictably to strength, instead, they adapt." The room grew quiet as the council considered this. Zarak continued, his tone measured. "It is clear we must reconsider our approach to humanity. They are not just cunning, they are relentless. Their bonds of loyalty and their drive to protect are formidable weapons." One council member leaned forward, her translucent eyes narrowing. "Perhaps we should negotiate with the humans." Another scoffed. "Negotiate? They will see it as weakness." Zarak raised a claw to silence the debate. "No, we will neither negotiate nor attack recklessly. We will observe, learn. Humanity's strength lies in their unpredictability, their creativity, but every strength has a weakness." Tuvok seized the opportunity to defend himself. "Supreme Strategist, with respect, the children were unexpected. How could we have known they would be so resourceful?" Zarak interrupted. "Ingenious, dangerous?" He fixed Tuvok with a cold stare. "You didn't know because you underestimated them, and that is a mistake the Kliktar cannot afford." Terran Space, Earth Defense Council. Admiral Hayes stood before the Terran Defense Council, delivering her debrief. Behind her, holographic images displayed the aftermath of the Kliktar raid, the victorious fleet, and the rescued children. "The Kliktar underestimated us," she concluded. "More specifically, they underestimated our most vulnerable citizens. This incident proves what we've always known: humans are at their strongest when protecting those they care about." A counselor leaned forward. "Admiral, do you believe the Kliktar will try something like this again?" Hayes shook her head. "No, not in the same way. They're learning, just like we are, but make no mistake, if they strike again, we'll be ready, and so will our children." The council erupted into applause, the room filled with a renewed sense of purpose. The human spirit. Stories of the children's escape and humanity's swift retaliation spread throughout the galaxy. Other species, some allied and some wary of humanity, watched the events with growing respect and caution. Among the alien races, a saying began to circulate: "If you provoke a human, expect a fight, but if you harm their children, expect extinction." The Kliktar learned this lesson the hard way. and the galaxy would never forget it. Humanity had proven once again that their true power lay not in their ships or weapons, but in their unbreakable spirit. Epilogue: the legacy of the incident. Years passed, but the events of the Kliktar raid remained etched in galactic history. The incident became a cornerstone in humanity's growing reputation as a species to be respected and feared. It was no longer just their technology, their ingenuity, or their adaptability that kept others wary. It was their uncompromising commitment to protect their own, especially the young. Kliktar Reformation. The Kliktar Empire underwent significant changes after their humiliating defeat. Supreme strategist Harak, now an elder statesman, restructured their military doctrine to focus on diplomacy and intelligence rather than brute force. He often used the human children as an example in his lectures to new officers. Never assume weakness based on size or appearance, he would say, the smallest ember can ignite the greatest blaze. Tavok, stripped of his rank, lived in quiet obscurity, teaching young Kliktar soldiers the importance of humility in warfare. Though bitter, he respected humanity in a way he never had before. The Galactic Summit. Decades later, at a historic galactic summit, humanity and the Kliktar found themselves on the same side of a diplomatic table for the first time. The subject, the rising threat of a new, hostile empire known as the Drexian Dominion. Admiral Kira Hayes, now retired but serving as an ambassador, stood across from strategist Harak. The room buzzed with tension as the two former adversaries regarded each other. "It seems we meet again," Harak said, his tone respectful. "It does," Hayes replied with a small smile, "and this time, under better circumstances." Harak inclined his head. "The Kliktar have learned much from our previous encounter. Perhaps this time, we can learn from each other." The room watched as the two leaders shook hands, a moment of reconciliation that would pave the way for an unprecedented alliance. The children who became legends. The 12 children from the New Horizon colony grew up to be legends in their own right. Their story inspired countless humans and allies across the galaxy, becoming the subject of books, songs, and even holofilms. Max, the bold leader, became a celebrated explorer, pushing the boundaries of known space. Lily, the creative thinker, grew up to design some of humanity's most advanced technologies, and Tommy, the quiet problem solver, became an influential diplomat, working to strengthen interstellar alliances. Together, they symbolized not only the resilience of humanity but also its boundless potential. A message to the stars. In a quiet corner of Earth, now a hub of galactic diplomacy, a monument stood in honor of the children and their daring escape. Inscribed on the base were words that had become humanity's motto: "Protect the future, fight for what matters, and never, ever underestimate us." The galaxy had learned this truth the hard way, and humanity, as always, continued to rise.